Welcome everybody back to what is the final episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. That's my bonus video that's coming up. Don't ask when, because I do not know. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand? Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you, but Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony. Remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony if you will. First, tell us your relationship with Grant. The thing hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Grant. So grant us our wish. I worked alongside Gant for years. Oh. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. The only motive was to get Drake convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana, if this is true, then that means that Chief Gant had nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something else. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense will now begin. I highly doubt she's lying. How many years exactly? Since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so what about? So that'd be about 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky was legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous court cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school for me. Dim Gant was a respectable detective, that's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Guy. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. Still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as ideal gossip. You stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And fabricated the evidence. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found you rearranged. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the scene of the crime? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? The prosecution Marshall died from an unfortunate incident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it was my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Guess that's all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change my statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Drake? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Drake was carrying a switchblade. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up lies with more lies. All this is to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all this is what everything boils down to. Yes. You planted it, then moved the body. But why? Why would you do that? Because of all people you should know, Always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad. Why did you do that? Come on, Mr. Wright, even you should be able to figure it out. Very well. But this isn't the reason. I knew the tip of the... According to your testimony, prosecution murder weapon and leaving it at that. Effective way convicted. That would be by having you buried it inside the victim's head. Yes, because I hated Drake for what he did. Why did you show it to me with the body? It was where you abducted it was by Chief Grant's desk. And the body was found by your desk. Why'd you move it? The simple for that is, let's have the witness explain in more detail the reason why she moved it. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you? Emma did not do it, period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk a death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for this action. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. Fine, that she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Now that I got everything. Bum, bum. When is that gonna ever be useful? Glad we took it. Oh god. Alright. This guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean forgery at that scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth was to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. Contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the event threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight. See, a message was written on that jar with the victim's blood. The evidence prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly, and this is where I find the contraction. In order for the victim to be able to write on the message on the jar, he must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah! Couldn't have written his name on a shattered jar. Order, order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to the jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something crucial here. Something crucial, Chief Prosecutor? It seems as in the dark as we are. But truth towards each other were had. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room, I didn't have enough time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were so large, I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one that wiped away the blood message? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defendant may now get his cross test. The jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hasn't broken earlier. It looks as feasible as the defendant's case, but not as feasible as the judge's judgment. You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe that you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room. I didn't have time to see. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No, if I hadn't known, I would have gathered all the pieces around them to dust. Well, that helps in that case. Lana, you do that for me? It seems you might two make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If anyone happened upon on the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had destroyed the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. Afraid that action of yours reveal what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Drake killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in this situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. Fragments were so large, so I sure I got them all. But how could you... But how could you see with the power out? It could have pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Oh, even I hear about everything whenever I go. I never miss any place. I got every last piece. I think I got something to prove that wrong. Thought that would work. Yes, I don't have any excuse for my action. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we got to the bottom of this incident, no doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contraction have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contraction in her testimony. There's only one final possibility that might turn everything around. Okay, now that I did all that, is that it? So, like, really? Wait, the fourth. 1, 2, 3. Oh, because there's that one piece. I was thinking it was like with the other one. I believe this jar conceals the truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in the chief's safe, but how? I knew that she really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it, but the witness just testified. He gathered every last piece and wiped away the blood on it, which leaves us with only one explanation. And Prosecutor Marshal's office, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Grant got there before you. Ho ho! But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my... I've forgotten, Your Honor. When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. The person discovered the machine prior. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Grant at the time he was looking for Dark. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No. No. He can't. Judge! Wait. I'm not the one on trial here. Tim again arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. Proceeded to break the jar. And purposely hid one of the broken pieces. What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence? Why would Chief Grant do that? In the light of what happened, it isn't clear. What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought to grant aid. Leading her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and the reason why Miss Guy became the police president. Oh! No. I didn't do it on my own. Please, sis. I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer like this for my own sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if you're still smack dab in the middle of Grant's trap? Something wrong? And it might be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies in Mr. Wright? This guy, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma accidentally killing a prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking Marshall over Miss Guy, if you do, if you will, I can't. Something to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright. The witness may testify once more for the final time. The final testimony? I hope not. I'm just gonna look to make sure that this ain't the final one. Okay. Dude, it is a final cross-examination. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark was lying on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the sword from the body and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword. They were the only one who saw that it only you had. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. That it might be needed, but I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. You don't remember getting a picture? Oh, Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? It seems you remember getting something from her, then check the evidence. Why was she hiding? Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my, this is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted criminal affairs only after I had arranged this evening. Mr. Wright. That piece cut off from the vest. The cloths where we found inside Grant's safe. What, this? This is a handprint, ain't it? A cloth. It has fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprint must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning purple? Anyway, let's get on with the crimination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Well then, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Oh no! What? No! It's Dan! Come on, Energy. This is the poorest excuse of a trial I've ever seen. Damn, you changed your voice. What now? You want me to look as the bad guy too? So, if so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you're forfeited your sword to make that statement. It must be that risk we talked about earlier. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all that. Even if I can't testify, I still present evidence. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. Someone does. Someone. So what's your excuse, Righto? Yeah, I've been keeping quiet about it. You have something to show us that proves who knocked over Marshall. Conclusive evidence that leaves no reason for doubt. Is this true? Because he knows that we went there. Shows us evidence now. It's sure to be made out of the murderer. Right! If you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be one appearing before the board of inquiries. What do I do now? I better think of carefully. Can't make the wrong decision now. I have to. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence. Alright, this time it finally shows that the prints have got to be the chief's. My bad. It's a piece of local cloth, and it's most likely was cut from the vest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely. What? Whose fingerprints are on these? I'm sure Wright has checked it out, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're misguys. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See, I told you. It was consecutive. Inconclusive. What the frick am I talking about? But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You should have. Thank you. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this time. What? You lie. Gant, you opened my safe. I know you took what was inside the conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Right. Well, don't we found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Gant? Can you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest. Notice something odd about the chest area? Looks like part of it's been cut out for no reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what happened. What? You mean you admit it? I was the first person to arrive at the scene of crime that day. Then it occurred to me that I could use this situation to control Lana. So you were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like this Limley was her sister, then that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. Say you assisted Miss Guy. Told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the body and move the body across the room. Ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene. 2 pieces of evidence, you mean the items in your safe, but why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it appears best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? You take me for a fool. I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See the jar fragment? Emma. I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the bloody pieces. But if you fabricate all the evidence, what to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Ho ho ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that cloth? Go on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, right? You don't want me to show it. Okay, Medu Glenn, you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim. Taking your safe? Yes, I admit I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. That's right, D. I have to say for yourself. Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have the evidence to present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it, and now it's too late. Long battle. But the moment of truth finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up. Oh! Do I dare show the evidence? No, it's too late to show the evidence now. Right? Think hard over the circumstances. Talking about then and now. No! I didn't mean to, Edgy. I do have evidence for that now. So on the day of the crime, you personally cut it out. At last, you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. The prosecution with them. It could not have been forged. It must be conclusive evidence. Oh, you're as slow on the uptake as you've ever. Really? Think about it. Wright had all this evidence to present. Yet he reluctant to do so. Why would he do that? I mean, you already know. You know whose fingerprints are on it? Mr. Wright. Do you really? Whoever the fingerprint belongs to must be a real man. Very well. I'll tell you. Emma, Sky. What? They're mine? But why? Why didn't you tell me? Tell her the truth. Oh. Really something, Ryder. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still pinned me for the murder, so it's true. Tragic, true. Girl really did show prosecutor Marshall death. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky. You knew those fingerprints were all along, yet you acted like you really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? Said this trial isn't over yet. Ha, but I'm afraid it's over, my boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. Such a shame. You purposely concealed this evidence, conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and that's what? You really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall. What? Chief Gant, you're absolutely right. The piece of cloth proves the real murderer who killed Neil Marshall, you asked. It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, the piece of cloth contains a crucial contradiction. A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? It's a bloody handprint. One proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contract? Rain in here. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is a picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. Oh, yep, I kind of noticed, but see the picture of where his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. Hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured, blood poured out, yada, yada, yada. Oh, but the piece of cloth, clean, but with one handprint. Wait, there's no blood on it. Urgh! Says Emma Sky's fingerprints are on the cloth. There's no doubt that she proved that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall did not impale on the sword at that time. No, that's nonsense. Now then, Chief Grant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not was not impaled when he shoved aside. He was most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Scott? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armored sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember when you admitted only moments ago? You personally cut out the bloodless piece of the victim's cloth. Ironic, isn't it? Though the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally over. Finally. Objection! Oh no. Oh, that was close, right? Oh, you almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute these allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see that piece of cloth? That's illegal evidence. Bruh. Order. What's this nonsense about? Legal evidence cannot be... Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go feed her. Either old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? That's true, the defense did refuse to present the evidence. At that time, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal. But that's not fair. Did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh of you, son. Wait, hold on. I gotta look at the book. I'm afraid Mr. Grant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edward, true illegal cannot be presented in court, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. No, if I miss the bank. I admit I refused to present it at one point. So the evidence is legal. Objection. No, it isn't, Mr. Grant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present the evidence, it's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Urgie, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but... There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is that evidence legal or not? Very well, let's settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you cannot prove... This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that time... but at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth. Nothing more. Grr. See? It's written right here in the book. The second rule of law evidence. Of evidence law. No evidence shall be shown without the approval. Found this piece of evidence myself inside the safe. It's without saying I did not have the approval from the police department. Well, two. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at that time, it was impossible for me to prove relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and objection. Sorry, but you cannot. But can you recall what this picture presented that was shown only a few moments ago? No, he's right. At the beginning of this trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as this evidence was you, damn it, Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this one. On that day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of stuff from the vest. Oh, yes. No! It was then you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest. The only one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there only one person who could have been. Damn it, Gant. The killer was you. Oh, 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 whoa, oh, 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 yo, woo, oh, oh, woo. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insists on hounding me. Your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Good, then turn him down, as so he thought. So Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried taking the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a report, and I went with him to the evidence. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There's too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker as we were talking about evidence, he said. It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall. Well, to be honest, I was taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That cursed knife. Could've just pulled out. I would've led to more blood, nigga. Even so, the blood would just kept pouring out. It might stumble in, so I hurried over down. I was worried so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The blood hampered on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as a crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then why'd you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other ways to move the body. Broke your trunk. But what's the big deal? Still got a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leave the prosecution car aside. How could you get the Miss Guy involved in all this? Well, she had it, but so you looked the evidence from Detective Gumshoe's locker? I mean, Goodman. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So you left the jar of fragments in the glove. Yeah. Looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. Gotta hand it to them. They do better at their jobs, well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why did you stand in court? Huh? I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you'll just understand. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you get to know them. Well, it looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Urgie, what? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. Sorry to them again. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. Sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone, Urgie. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodies. Melodies you all sing. There's two things I want you to understand, yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Dem and Gam betrayed you from the beginning. See, Miss Guy? You no longer have any reasons to keep silent. You're right. When this trial's over, I'll tell everything that I've done these past 2 years. From time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, seems all the questions raised in this trial has been answered. Sorry, Miss Guy, I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what a high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now you might just make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Guy, and to you, Edgeworth. Or Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have for over the few days. From a few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been to you. It was nothing. Liar. I have been worried the pressure might break you, and yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I'm only doing my job. Stop! By this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Guy? Yes, Your Honor? You're innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is still acting as an accomplice. Trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something assuming about all this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. Long time since I felt free of those heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charges of murder, the court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. Oh, really sad I'm ending this. This is all. The court is now adjourned. I'm actually really sad I have to end this series. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? Sorry, your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convinced for a murder she committed. No, not just that. After the trial ended. See why Maya Faye thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks. It's to you too, Edgeworth. Yeah. You know, I did my best too. Oh, she feels a little left out. But Lena didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything. Guess I am. I'll come back later. Gumshoe, what is it? And maybe burn my sister again? Nope, not this time. Came because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Hey! Lena! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. I could think about it all I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Sis, I asked Aunt to help me cover up that quote-unquote truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. Changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through those past years. The past years. I know how much I was hurting you by distracting myself. But I could bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared that you'd look at me with those eyes. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. Saying the truth that I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis, such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis. I always knew that one day you'd come back, and now you have. Oh, Emma. Aww. That's so sweet. No one could change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. It is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Hey, good old Edge. Where was he hiding, I came to say. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'll be going now. Bye. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you... We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I cannot correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth, not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Grant was right. You despise criminals. I could feel it. You and me were the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try getting them alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them, but in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. Scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now, but Edgeworth, who knows, given enough time, I might have tried to pull off something like Grant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue as a prosecutor. Edgeworth? Don't you understand? Damon Grant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. We weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. The screwdriver. No, we're getting this right because it's edgy, boy. I do not care how long this takes me. I want to find it. I'm just gonna kind of take a little bit of a peeky wiki, just so I can. Oh, the evidence list. Oh, but I guess that makes sense. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had the one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apparently, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth? If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that needs wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. It ends up to you. I know, it seems I owe my thanks to you, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I better be going. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. I think we both have a lot of catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific Investigations. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. Aww. So another case came to close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. Aww. Oh, this is such a nice one. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. Journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this, but I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, maybe okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story, huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either, huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, haha, I see. Well, Mr. Wright, here's the one we'll be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? Suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay for it together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Oh. This game's over. I know I almost cried a few times. You can probably tell I almost started crying. Dude, okay. Let me tell you all a little something. This game is probably one of the best video games of all time. There's no denying it. One of the best stories of any video games. Oh, they don't care. Be worse than firing you. Oh. This game is probably, honestly, a game, if you like these types of games, and you haven't played this, play it now. It's probably one of the best games on Switch, and DS's and stuff. Where am I going to go forward with this series now? Honestly, I'm going to be dead honest with you. This probably was this is my longest series. For now at least. Depending on how long the few other things will be. Let me tell you guys something. Yeah, oh my gosh. He is freaking out. It's nice that I finally got this game off my backlog. At least this particular game. I'll tell you a little story. I tried Let's Playing this game twice. One as a technical blind playthrough, another one as a little bit. I played the first 2 chapters. I played this one after beating the 4 chapters and starting the 5th. In my opinion, when I first started this chapter... Oh. Oh, it finally fell over. I was getting a little bit confused with it because, mind you, I didn't really think it was that good of a first beginning. But I think right after it gone on... Oh yeah, he's in jail, I forgot. Yeah, his cactus. This game also I wanted to play because of the fact of Phoenix Wright himself is probably like one of the best video game characters that I hear about. The right way lunch. Top lawyer tastes as bitter as as defeat, but the top tastes great. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's stellar. Make sure not to eat it backwards. It's probably one of the best visual novel games, especially because of the fact that there are 2 other games that, well, there's 2 other series in this series that are technical spin-offs. Mr. Left. Hey, now we get to see finally like behind his chair. But this game series has 2 other kind of like split series. There's Investigations, where you actually play as Miles Edgeworth, and then there's also the Great Ace Attorney. There's other characters too, like Apollo, who is one of the characters in the series. Oh, there's Maya. Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm fully fledged spear medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick. Oh, I can't wait till Mia comes back. Because she does. And honestly, I hope they work on I'm hoping that they're working on another Phoenix Wright game. Because this game series deserves so much more than what it gets. From what I heard, the first few games are really good. Apollo Legends is apparently the worst one. But I seen what Apollo Legend was, and it actually looks really fun. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth brought you your tea? What's going on? No. What's the note say? No, what's the note say? Does it say that he's leaving to do the investigations? Because that would be cool. As I do plan on playing through the investigation games. Hey! Thanks for coming to see me off. Oh, you're going to... Can't believe I'm going to Europe. Uh-oh. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Oh, what's it gonna be? Oh, okay, I can't look at that. That's so sad. Well, it's not supposed to be sad. I'm gonna make that the thumbnail. I don't know. I don't know what's really gonna be the thumbnail, but And this was made by Capcom. And honestly, I don't think Capcom... I can't think of any bad Capcom games that I've done a playthrough of. Because I played through... Now, if I hit continue, I'm going to have to hit new game, which will be... This will be the next one I'm doing if I was going to do a continuation of Phoenix Wright. I really hope you guys like this series. I know this is my longest series. It's my most uploaded. It came out every day except one day because I missed an upload. I really wanted this series to be one of my favorites, and it probably is my favorite Let's Play. It's my longest, but most notably, I think it's my most story-driven. I think. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait and see. But if you guys like this playthrough, please let me know. Give me other Phoenix Wright game ideas, because I want to do Justice for All and Trials and Tribulation. But I also have the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles there as well, just in case I feel like doing one of those games. But my next Let's Play will be coming soon. Promise you that. We're on 80. We'll hopefully be on 81 probably when this video goes out. I don't know. I'm really happy that we're finally done with it. I won't lie, filming this series was kind of the most harsh thing. I need to know that I cannot do that no more. I'll go a little bit behind the scenes here. The first 18 parts, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but we're on 29. The first 18 parts were all pre-recorded in one sitting. And then I did the rest of it as quick as I could just so I can upload it. So really I didn't pay attention too much to the story, but I paid enough attention to where I could understand it and still like the story. But I'm going to probably not do that again, because if I do say Trials and Tribulations, I'm going to give it the time it needs and not force myself to sit down and play through it. But Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney is definitely one of the best games of all time. I think Trial and Tribulations and Justice for All will all do, in my opinion, they'll all be great games. I think the Ace Attorney Chronicles are also going to be good. I played a little bit of the first Great Ace Attorney, and I liked it a lot. It was awesome, but we just gotta wait and see. This is my longest episode, probably, or my longest part 29. Part 30 will be coming as a bonus episode. It won't be numbered, and it will be a cool video, I promise. I won't be doing it, it won't be up. Probably it might be up tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for watching. One of the best games of all time, being played through by yours truly. See you guys next time on my next Let's Play. Hopefully I'll come back to this, so...